Okay, so it's Saturday night here at Romford Horror Film Festival. We've just had a rapturous screening of How to Kill Monsters, the feature film, which is a fantastic film. Really enjoyed that. All the selection committee did. It's got a number of nominations from ourselves, which we might touch upon later. But I'm here with one of the actresses from the film, Louella. Would you like to just introduce yourselves?
Hi, yes, my name's Louella Gaskell. I play Crystal in How to Kill Monsters. In other words, I got my head chopped off twice. So
impressive.
Yes, not many people can say that.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
that must be quite rare.
Achievement, yeah.
So you said to me just now, you've seen it on the big screen quite a few times before. Do you still get the thrill of seeing it up there, seeing yourself there?
Yeah, and you know what, the biggest thrill comes from hearing everyone's reactions to it as well, because I sort of feel so proud of the rest of the cast as well and the people that made it. You know, it's really lovely to hear every time how well it goes down with the audience and the laughter and the enjoyment for it. Yeah, so yeah, that doesn't get old. Doesn't. Yeah.
It's such a fun film. That's what we liked about it so much. It's a proper crowd pleaser. We knew it would be a good film for Saturday night here.
Yeah.
How did you first get involved with the film, meeting the filmmakers and getting the script?
Well, I was based up in Yorkshire for a few years where we made the film. And I got to know the producers, Cal, and also the director, Stuart Spark. And so I sort of came on board to play the part of Crystal. And it was my first role in a feature-length horror film. Okay. So yeah, it was a sort of a lovely endeavour with people that have made stuff together before. And it was really lovely to sort of be brought on board to be part of that as well.
Had you been in shorts before?
Yes, I've been in short films before. Yeah.
How did you find the difference between shorts and your first feature?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's similar, but for the parts that I shot, I actually it shot quite chronologically for me. Okay. And when I'd done shorts before, just throughout the whole film, it kind of just shot as films do, depending on location and stuff. So there was a lot more to it. You know, in short films you can shoot, in one place for a couple of days and be done with the project. Whereas this was a more sort of bigger scale, and even for an independent feature, you know, the amount of sets and work that went into it was just on a bigger scale, and working with a bigger team of people as well, which is, for an actor, that's really fun to experience, because it allows you to sort of fall into the role a bit more and see everyone doing their different jobs and how all of that comes together to make the final production as well. Yeah.
Did you get much opportunity to rehearse with your co-stars or the director beforehand?
No.
No? None?
No, not much at all. I remember coming on board. I turned up for the shooting day with everybody, and the first scene that I filmed was when we entered the prison cells. So I had just met Michaela and the rest of the cast. I just met her for the first time that day, and I'm, of course, her trusty sidekick. And we just launched into it, you know. And so that was an interesting experience, and something that you have to do a lot as an actor. Often that is how it is. So we had to kind of just come in with all of that energy straight up. We just met, so yeah.
How many days was the shoot?
Oh, I think I was on it for 2 or 3 weeks. My memory betrays me a little bit there, so it might not be completely accurate. I'm not sure how long the shoot was in total. I don't want to get that wrong. I think it was a couple of months, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. What was your greatest challenge on the film, would you say?
For me, the greatest challenge, I would say probably the effects side, the practical effects side. Okay, because as some of you might have noticed, Crystal was very red. For most of the film. Yes. It was let's just say it was a very crusty few days for me. So when you're shooting films with so many practical effects, it can be physically quite an uncomfortable process. And that's what I found probably to be challenging, yes. Not unpleasant, because the crew did a fantastic job, but it was certainly different to sort of experience that.
Did you have a long time that you had to be in makeup, or how long did that kind of process take to get into that makeup?
Yeah, so I had to once we shot the scene where the slug monster spews guts. I can talk like this because of where we are.
Yeah.
Spews the guts all over us. Lovely. After that was shot the first time, obviously the continuity comes into it, so we had to recreate how we looked after that point. So yes, I was in makeup for quite a long time, and the runners can probably attest to having to come downstairs and ask for me because I was still being painted again in all the blood.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a little, the makeup to start with, fine, but after that, it took quite a while, and for those, when we had prosthetics done, and for Lindsay later in the film as well, there was a lot of work that went into all of that.
Who, if we, the dream scenario, you can act alongside anyone in the film world, who would you pick?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I have to say, it's kind of a classic answer, but an actress like Meryl Streep, for me.
Yeah.
Growing up watching people like that, that's a dream, to work with somebody of that level, because I think then it brings you up so much as well,
Yeah.
I think, so.
This film's done really well in other festivals.
Yeah.
It played at Fright Fest, didn't it? And where else has it played that you've attended?
So Fright Fest, of course, that was the first one that it showed at. That was its premiere, and the first festival that I attended. I've attended the New York City Horror Film Festival as well.
Oh, wow.
I went to that one with Fen and with Stuart and Lindsay and our producer Cal and his wife Julia. And so we got to sort of meet up there and watch the film, which was a really lovely experience, and do a little bit of a Q&A after that as well. And also a lovely little festival in Islington as well, that me and Aviana attended together. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of creative people we talk to are quite very critical of their own performances, and they see it on the big screen and they go, "Oh, I didn't like that about it, didn't like that about it." Let's turn it around positive. What do you see up there and you think, "Oh, really I'm happy with that moment," or how we made that? Is there any moments like that?
Oh, I do hate being asked what's good about yourself. It's not good for English people. That's a great question, because it can be hard to watch yourself on screen. Some people don't do it at all, even some famous people that don't do that at all. I was quite nervous to watch it the first time. Just because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to watch myself on this huge screen, and like I said, my first role in a feature film, and it was a sold-out audience at Fright Fest, and then I suddenly felt a bit nervous to see myself, because when you're acting for screen, you have no control over how that's going to come out later on. So you think, well, how am I going to come across? And you trust the crew, and you think, well, it's not going to be bad because they made it and they're great. But yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised by sort of how funny it was, and how sort of, I thought it was all right. Yeah, I don't.
Great.
It's a hard question to answer, but I was pleasantly surprised when I watched it for the first time. Yeah. But I was nervous.
So we're at a horror festival. Are you a horror fan?
I am someone who would like to be more of a horror fan, but I have too wild an imagination, and I'm very squeamish.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have tentatively been trying to watch other work.
Okay.
I know this is fine because it's fun, and I was there when we made it.
Right.
But even with that said, the first time I watched the film, for the first time I was like flinching, and I thought, what am I doing? Like,
You know it's going to be okay.
yeah. I don't know how you guys that love horror just can bear all of the gore. Like, it's amazing, but I respect it. I do. Yeah.
Final question. Boast about yourself a bit. What are you working on coming up that we'll be able to see you in the future?
So currently, I recently moved to London, so I've sort of started making new contacts in the industry. I'm hoping to work on some more projects. I have some other short films linked to in my social media and things as well. Short films. I did start out doing sort of experimental films and short horror films, because as one of my acting teachers told me, I have a face for horror. Thank you very much. She did mean it as a compliment.
Yeah.
You know.
It didn't come out right.
Yeah. And I also do a lot of work in immersive theatre as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you, tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, I can. So I've worked for various different sort of stage and theatre productions as well. So live immersive theatre, I actually started doing that in horror as well. So I did scare acting. Some of you might have heard of Tully's Shocktoberfest.
Okay, yeah.
They have a northern one, and I went up, when I was living up there, I acted for them as well, which is sort of real live and in the moment practice for horror acting. And I also like to take part in some nostalgia, if anyone's ever seen The Crystal Maze.
Oh, yeah.
I am one of the Richard O'Briens of Shaftesbury Avenue.
Oh.
And I've also played Lara Croft in a immersive experience, which no one can go to anymore because it has unfortunately run its course.
Yeah.
But
I was meant to go the other week and it was like, oh, shame.
I'm so sorry about that. You can't talk to me about it. Yeah.
Great stuff. Scare acting, is that when you like jump out at people?
Pretty much.
Effectively?
Yes.
Has anyone been so frightened you've almost got like hit by them or anything like that?
I have been almost hit. Yes.
Yeah.
That person was thrown out. Yeah.
It's good to hear.
Yes. It's very reactive work. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Real frights as opposed to fictional.
Yes, and I do have some concern for some of the actors that do these things because I think that they do genuinely enjoy the fact that they can sort of mentally torture people in real life. Yeah. But then I think those people enjoy it just as much as the people doing it, so it's sort of a mutual,
Yeah, that's okay then, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Have you ever been to a scare maze? Or
I haven't,
a scare
no.
No.
I think I would just instantly lash out.
Yeah.
There was a stag do, it's a long story, but someone jumped out of a wardrobe at me during an escape room and I nearly punched him in the face because I was very hungover and it was just my first reaction.
We're trained to have good reactions. We know how to get out of the way of that, yeah. But that would be my reaction as well, which is why I decided to do the acting part. Yeah.
They were dressed as a zombie as well, I shouldn't just note that. It wasn't just a random person in a wardrobe.
No, that's good. It wasn't just a customer, not one of your friends. No. Okay, good. No. Yeah. So I decided to move to the screen so that I didn't have to get punched by people in real life. Good. They can see me up there, and that can be it. Yeah.
Great stuff. Louella, thank you so much for coming and representing your film. It's a fantastic film. We've nominated it for, I think, at least 4 or 5 prizes. So
yeah, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Can we have a round of applause, please, for Louella?